Am I on? Okay. What time on Wednesday? For you? For you? For me? I gotta go find a pool. Yeah, I'm on the basketball team. Left bench. I won this year. This might be 5 format or 3. Okay, hey, that's good. We have a 5 week. Let's practice on this. We're gonna run the horns offense.
So guys, welcome to today's meeting. Hopefully you guys picked up your jackets. I was saying the gray. That is my fault. I just want to sincerely apologize for the mix up with that. And
So fresh, so clean.
I mean, you're looking amazing, Tyler. You're looking amazing. I was looking amazing, and we're all matching, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, so we're actually gonna go ahead and do a switch up for today. We're gonna go jump straight into our journal presentations. Ooh. Well, please, anyone? Well, thank you. All right. So we're gonna be going ahead with, is Brandon here? Brandon, please. You are presenting right now. Straight off the bat. Everyone, please. Round of applause for Brandon. Oh, Brandon. I'm saying. Yours was the Canva. Very beautiful. Yes. Oh, love it. How's it look? Good. Yeah, just a switch up. Let's go, guys.
All right, so hello everyone. So I did my journal club presentation on a read music app to address pain in the emergency department, and this is a prospective study. Just to start with the background, opioids are currently being prescribed throughout the U.S. at a very high and unsustainable rates. This increases the risk of opioid use disorder and opioid overdose in patients. So a possible and potential adjunctive therapy that we're looking into is possibility of listening to music. Music has been shown to be related to a common reward pathway in the brain and can possibly be used to alleviate pain in patients as well. And it's also an easy medium that can be employed in the complex environment. All right, so for the objective of this particular study, it was to evaluate the feasibility and effectiveness of smartphone-based music intervention for acute pain in patients that are presenting. For the methods, the inclusion criteria included patients who were admitted to the or into the observation unit PD, and also English speaking. Exclusion criteria includes patients who have pacemakers, hearing loss, any contact precautions, they're unstably housed, and if they have any significant medical or psychiatric illnesses. Participant recruitment included research associates screening using an electronic medical record, as well as approaching the patient and getting consent, which is very similar to what we do as well. Patients would be provided a study phone, which had a direct connection to the Red App system, so data collection would be very easy and go straight to the system. And each patient would be randomized into 2 groups. The first group being a supervised group, and the second group being an unsupervised group. The supervised group would be accompanied with a research associate who would stick around with the patient and let them know how to use the app and also guide them through each 10 minutes session. Do you have questions?
Yeah, who was this? Like, where were they? Where was the study taken?
So I did look around into the paper. I actually couldn't find a specific location. It didn't list at all. It was interesting, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
It's pretty cool. I can't lie. This is a pretty cool study.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so for the actual music intervention, it already included 5 relaxing instrumental tracks, which was devised or derived from a machine learning algorithm. This was commissioned and provided them by company folks. And patients would be allowed to sample each track and they could pick their favorites to listen to for the 10-minute sessions. Patients would be given noise canceling headphones and they would just listen for 10 minutes, and pain and anxiety would be measured before and after intervention. And for the measures, to measure pain, they use the brief pain inventory scale. This would measure pain severity and also functional interference within the previous week. To measure psychosocial characteristics, they use the patient-reported outcomes measurement information system, or PROMIS for short. This will measure depression, sleep disturbance, and anxiety. They also use the pain catastrophizing scale, or PCS for short. This will measure rumination of pain or magnification of pain, as well as perceived helplessness. There's also the perceived stress scale, which is self-explanatory, and also the brief symptom inventory, which measures somatization, which is the physical expression of pain, such as, or not necessarily pain, but just stress in general. This could be in the form of increased heart rate, for example. Right, for the results, they were able to successfully enroll 82 patients. For the change in pain, the average, or based off the average across all the patients, there was a mean difference of negative 0.81. And for the change in anxiety, there was a mean difference of negative 0.72. This indicates that after the music intervention was given to them, there was a significant, although modest, decrease in both pain and anxiety scores for all patients, regardless of being in the supervised or unsupervised group. As for the feasibility and user experience, patients were provided an exit survey data, or an exit survey, sorry, and the data they used, they were able to collect whether patients believe that the survey or the app was easy to use, which 57 patients said. 46 patients said that they liked the music intervention, and 49 patients said they were willing to use the app at home as well. This indicates that the app itself was relatively easy to use and could be implemented in the immersion department relatively easily as well. All right, so in conclusion, a smartphone-based music intervention is a feasible adjunctive therapy for patients with acute pain, according to this study. Some limitations include the fact that this is a prospective study. If for future directions, it could be possible to redesign the study to include a control group as well. This would be a lot better to have more conclusive data about whether the intervention itself is able to improve both pain and anxiety scores for patients. And another limitation is that some patients would actually fall asleep during the intervention, which you could view as a positive thing, but it's hard to categorize that data as well. Good reference. Thank you.
Any questions, guys?
Question?
I'm just curious as to what type of patients do including screen as possible landscape
Yeah, so I would assume they didn't specifically say the inclusion and exclusion criteria was very briefly gone over in the paper itself. But I'm assuming they did target patients who were prescribed opioids or were experiencing some sort of level.
Did they like categorize type of pain? Like, could they only approach phobia side or chronic pain? I know the TD observations probably pain for a long period of time.
Yeah, they unfortunately did not specify that in paper, so I can't answer that.
This is like professional grade presentation and professional grade questions. So yeah, fantastic. I mean, what can I say? This is very well done. I love your presentation. You obviously love the material and a cool topic too, which helps a lot. One thing I wanted to just tell you, this is not a stats course, obviously, but there are certain things that are called disease-centered outcomes and patient-centered outcomes. Are you guys familiar with that? So like, for example, this whole thing about reducing this pain score modestly by 1, but is that of clinical significance, really? Reducing someone's pain by a half or a 1, I'm not sure. So the same thing when you're taking, someone has high cholesterol, they did all the studies initially to give them medicines to reduce their cholesterol by a certain number. So maybe their cholesterol was 250 and they reduced it by 25% and got them down to like 200 or something like that, or under 200. And the question is, even though the disease process was improved, does that do anything to the cardiovascular outcome? So just something for you guys to be even more, even better consumers of the literature. Think about papers, just think about all the things that could be brought into it. But it's interesting they didn't mention where it was done, and then I think the questions about the selection of the patients is really important. Chronic pain, acute pain, all that kind of stuff would have been interesting to know a little bit more, which the authors had mentioned that, but really good job. Yeah.
And we have one more presentation from Amanda, so I'll put the slides on. Right, is it this one right here? You want to go now? We'll go now. Awesome. Go ahead. Alrighty, have fun, have fun.
Hi guys, so for my journal club article, I actually chose a scoping review that covered AI use for triage in hospital duties. Just some brief background. So 131 million hospital ED visits occur annually, and about 19 million of those lead to hospital admissions. There has been an increase in the number of ED visits due to non-urgent visits, recurrent patients, staff shortages, reduced beds, and then solutions typically address patient volume and not really patient outcomes through triage methods. So this scoping review kind of covered current triaging, which basically is a 5-level triage scale that is reliant on subjective judgments of the triage nurse. That was specified in this case. I'm not sure if you guys similar, but essentially because of this judgment based on one individual or maybe like multiple individuals, there can be variability within the ED itself and across hospital systems. And so the authors of this article looked at a bunch of different articles covering AI and machine learning use in triaging processes in the ED. And because AI can emulate human cognitive processes, and there have been recent advancements in computing for AI and machine learning models, these articles as a whole found that there's positive outcomes in healthcare, but there has been little known about using AI to triage patients in the ED. So that was just some brief background, and then the scoping review wanted to kind of identify this gap. And their overarching question after doing this scoping review was to kind of answer can AI and machine learning in triage care affect clinical outcomes during ED visits? Some of the methods they use this Joanna Briggs Institute scoping review methodology, and then inclusion and exclusion criteria were provided as well, with peer-reviewed articles being included. They had to be written in English. They had to be published in US-based journals from 2013 to 2023. In the articles themselves, patients had to be admitted to the ED. They had AI had to be used during the triage process, and patient outcomes needed to be reported. And then exclusion criteria were just these types of articles, as well as any studies published outside of the US. So in terms of how they kind of screened through these different articles, they went through these, 3-tier process of identifying first, if there's any duplicate records of any articles. Next process was just screening for if it's even eligible, if the article covered the triaging process specifically, or if it was a little too broad in scope. They also excluded some articles based on highly biased results, which kind of made me question how they did that necessarily, but that was also part of their screening process. And in the end, they included 29 studies for final review, with these articles being published at around 2018 to 2023. For their results, after looking through these 29 articles, they did find that using AI and machine learning processes in triage may improve decision-making, especially given the fast-paced environment of ED. It could, of course, then increase triage efficiency in the ED. And then what was interesting that I found was they could use AI and ML to use these like systems and train them with historical data from the hospital system itself to kind of help predict condition severity and identify, I guess, preemptively those who may be at risk. Due to AI, these like AI methods having like, I guess, the complete patient chart at hand versus sometimes when you're triaging, you might just know the patient in their current state at that moment. With supplementation of AI and ML, you can have a more comprehensive understanding of patient health status, as well as kind of decrease inconsistency, especially given the stressful environment of the ED. And then their conclusion was that AI may allow for earlier diagnosis and intervention, but there are some concerns that they did bring up after getting the scope review, mainly ethical considerations, of course, with patient privacy, informed consent, like having responsible use of this patient data, FDA approvals, AI misconceptions, as well as overly confident AI results, potentially leading to like risk of more adverse outcomes, and then of course changes to current clinical practice and how that might look if AI ML methods are implemented in the ED. Some limitations that they did address was mainly through their screening process with exclusion criteria potentially being subjective and inconsistencies between selection that may lead to omission of data. So then future work, they would just want to look at addressing those ethical considerations, exploring like long-term impacts of AI on patient outcomes, and then developing standardized guidelines for AI implementation and kind of assessing attitudes of ED staff on implementing AI and machine learning. And overall, as a whole, the scoping review did find, I guess, pretty positive results in terms of AI and ML, with it potentially improving triage efficiency and resource allocation, predicting hospital admissions, identifying critical conditions, as well as alleviating ED workflow overflow and staff workload. And basically, essentially, AI and ML was found to have the potential to kind of redefine triaging. That's it for me. I hope that's awesome. Any questions?
I know it's a scope review, so.
Yeah.
But you know in what the AI was used, was it like the patients kind of like they self-report and the AI like has an algorithm or something, or is it from providers?
I believe it was from the providers.
Okay.
Like I had use by the provider.
So some like human oversight.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
They mentioned how the different machine learning methods give different results, so.
So that's an interesting question. Usually given like the different platforms of versus. Don't believe they address that point. Be interesting to explore. Sure.
How much it costs to implement systems and that would increase the disparity between
Yeah, for sure. I think they touched on that in terms of like resource allocation, because using AI and ML would potentially reduce costs, and then in that sense they could allocate the resources to like other areas to cover and just cover patient care.
Great job again. You guys are selecting some really cool articles and presenting them extremely well. I really loved that complicated slide that had the algorithm to screen out some of these articles. And as much as I can't read that from here, no, but I think it was cool to see that, but you explained it while that sheet was up there. So you're like, this is, you really want to take a look at it, it's here, but I'm going to explain it to you. And that was kind of a nice way to show that there was some scientific process going on behind the scenes, but you had filtered and then are presenting it to us as an audience in a very streamlined way. So I really enjoyed that. Again, great questions from the audience. All of them are just phenomenal. You guys you do this for a living.
You don't receive
So.
Thank you. I was walking to class today. I was extremely late, 20 minutes late, and so I was like rerunning reports and that wasn't here. Marco, Marco. I apologize. And so I usually be handing out some apologies, right? So if you guys don't know apologies, there, this go ahead. Yeah, they're like these delicious baked goods from like a Mexican bakery. So they're and you got some more chata too, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys so much thank you guys for the presentation. Those were awesome. When I first saw them, we're gonna have to hold on the Michael Bublé article, which will happen. I usually presentation. But since we're a little behind schedule, but we're really love the past two articles, so keep up the great work, guys. Selfies of the week. So Phoebe made these. I'm gonna try my best to run through them. Keisha Thacker, I'm so sorry that I keep autocorrecting your name incorrectly. I'm so sorry. Like a blind man. You want to say it?
Like a blind man at a Dodge dealership, I see no challenges.
There's no challenges for Tyler. Tyler's the GOAT with a 17.5 point shift, 2 PCs in one shift. You off with 137 naltrexone screens on Friday night. We screened every single patient in that barn and in that hospital. Dr. VC can tell you guys. It was insane. I'm telling you, it was starting in the barn. But I've been staying true to my, as you guys would, as I made my notes. I hope you guys have been sticking to your amendments too. I brought up some fruits and there's a snack section now. Only healthy snacks though. Okay? So if anyone wants to send some not healthy snacks, you guys can add too, but it's just like popcorn and stuff. So yeah. This says, is this a lot of brain cell leaving? He has a lot of brain cells, so I doubt it. And Anne, you want to tell us about this super nice and inspiring patient? Oh shoot, Anne's sick. Anne's sick. Oh, Anne, are you here? Okay, yes.
No, she was like super nice, and she was unfortunately unhoused really kind of recently. She was talking about her experiences, including like being part of an abusive relationship, but like I spent like at least 1, maybe even 2 hours just talking to her. She was really sweet though, but yeah.
Love it. We love this region. So super happy. I do have to say though, a tragedy occurred last night. There was a huge upset. The boys and I lost. We scored 34 points. The other team scored 60. It was a lot. I would say it was a bit of a flaw, but good on you guys.
The half was pretty competitive.
It was
15-19. It was a pretty close game.
We were down like what?
We were down 11 to 1 at one. We all got it together.
Joel saw the selfie. She was like, you can tell how hard you're working. That's how.
Isaac was working.
I screwed you guys some t-shirts from Jones, but anyway, happy birthday. Birthdays. Oh my gosh. Socials. We have birthday celebrations to do real quick.
You ready? Let's sing happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leilana, Marco, Ayush, and Amanda. Happy birthday to you.
What's your birthday?
Yeah.
What? And when? Very close. Write that down. Write that down.
Oh.
Lincoln's birthday.
Oh, well, what flavors are they? Can I get the nuts?
Gotta use on this.
Yeah, I have mine.
Yeah, oh, we do. Wait, what else?
What?
Yeah.
That's been forever.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, James. Look at your hoping for
Pat Riley right there.
It's a half court game.
I'm a
Don't make it be like Madonna Savage.
Alrighty. Socials, are you guys done handing out stuff? You guys done handing out some socials? Okay, you guys got it. Okay, cool. We have 3 huge announcements. Go ahead, Allison. Yes, go ahead.
I have a really exciting announcement. Ultrasound members might already hear about this, but there's the Mammoth Conference coming up March 10th to 13th that our ED is hosting, but we have received approval to attend it for free. So for sure, we would not have to pay registration fees, but we would be coming as volunteers, like as ultrasound models or just whatever miscellaneous tasks. But the main thing is that we get to go there for free, which is like really. One more thing is that we would not be receiving housing, so we would have to cover transportation and housing ourselves. But if we have a large enough group, we definitely can put something together.
Wait, sorry, ultrasound models, I don't know why I didn't ask you this really, but is that like when they're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
So what I wanted to ask is like kind of gauge a head count of how many people would be interested. Because we need to ask them like, just disclaimer, yeah, it's the 1 week before finals. So I don't know if that changes anything for you guys.
You're right.
Wait,
do you stay the whole time or is it just like?
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. You can do whatever you want, since you just volunteered.
Can they get more Cortana?
I think it's also, you guys have to pay for yourself, but I think there might be a discount on the website for people attending conference. But can you raise your hands yet, or I can send an email if you want to think about it. Yeah, send a poll. Just because we need to send back to work.
I mean, they'll be like the question. So what would we have to pay for and what would we not have to pay for?
You have to pay for everything besides your registration.
So we have to pay
Registration
registration.
is like $1,000 or something, but like in terms of getting there, for your reference, it's like 4 hours drive to Mammoth. And then housing fee as well. 6 hours, my bad, 6 hours.
Wait, so there is no registration fee?
Yeah, that's free.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. But if you want to ski, because there's allocated time during the like itinerary, there's like ski time within this conference, but you have to pay for your own ski tickets as well. It's just cool.
Yeah, if there's enough interest, I'll put together a little Airbnb. I think the Airbnb cost will be like, usually like, it's an Airbnb, it's probably like $50 cost for the, I don't know, maybe, don't. But it'll be pretty affordable. If there's a time to go on a ski trip, why not hit the slopes with Dr. Fox? I'm sure Dr. Guy's amazing at skiing, whoever. Anyway, second huge announcement, we have intramural volleyball right after this meeting. We might lose, but it's okay. It's no worries. No, wait, we're not. Okay. So if you guys want to come out to support, please come out to support. We're playing PSA, the Vietnamese. PSA. So we're gonna need all the support we can get. And for our last announcement, we need everyone to fill out these slides. It's an AMRAP studies for, sorry. Dr. BC will be presenting for the emergency medicine interest group, which is the medical students. And then we need everyone to fill out some slides. Dr. BC, do you want to elaborate on what you're looking for in those slides?
Yeah, really simply, we have an emergency medicine interest group meeting. It's like an informal meeting we have every year. And I'm just looking for some slides on liaisons of the studies to create something about the title of the slide. And remember my lecture from last week, less is more. So something, in the background or infographics, and a little bit about why do the study, and then where we are maybe with any data that you might have, even if it's descriptive data. That's about it. And then it's really to highlight the studies that we have, students, get them inspired in that line of thinking so that they may engage either in studies that are in the primordial phases or perhaps to come up with some ideas on their own that might need more cultivation. Thank you. This will be, get those to me by February 3rd. That's not that far away, but one to two slides per study, no more, and I'll take it there.
Yeah, and I have like these slides that, wait, don't do all this, it's too much detail, but I'll send these slides out. I'll make each person just like have their own slide. You can just make it, the way Phoebe makes her slide so beautiful, like it's like a picture and then some data, just like interesting points. So that's all we're looking for. All right, it's 4:35, we're doing amazing on time. We haven't done numbers enough these months. I say we do numbers. Numbers. We're looking amazing. Oh, actually, wait, it's okay. I'll do it after. I'll do it now. Actually, Akil has a video to share with us. He wasn't able to make it in person for today's meeting, but I just wanted to set the precedent just because we're going to talk about lead. He wanted to talk about his new survey. So,
hey, MRAP, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Having a great week 4. So as you guys know, last week I emailed everyone to recap about this new study. For most newbies, I guess you guys aren't newbies, but for most veterans, this is a study that we enrolled for last year, and we made some updates. And so I just like to quickly go over this study. It's one of the great and easy studies to enroll for. So I just wanted to give you guys some background info on it, so that you guys know why you're enrolling patients. And so yeah, you can go ahead and get started. Welcome to Prime Lead ABC 2.0. All right, so what does Prime Lead ABC CABAR even stand for? So the Prime is Programs in Medical Education, and the LEAD stands for Leadership Education to Advance Diversity, and ABC stands for African, Black, and Caribbean. And CABAR stands for Confronting Anti-Blackness with Research. So this study is actually in partnership with the School of Medicine Prime Lead ABC program, and so we collaborate with the medical students that are in this cohort, and they help us with a lot of things. And this is actually their idea. We're just carrying out the research for them. Okay, so study objective, basically, in summary, there's a disproportionate number of African, Black, and Caribbean patients that present to the ED relative to the general population. And so the purpose of the study is multifaceted. There's a lot of different reasons for the study, but primarily looks at barriers to primary care access, the relationship that patients have with their PCP, and other socioeconomic factors. And so our most recent version, Lead ABC CABAR 2.0, focuses on if health literacy affects patients' decisions to come to the ED non-urgently. So what do you even do? So it's very, very simple, very easy. You're just going to screen for the patients in EPIC, right? If they're over 18, they can be enrolled in a case or control. And so you can enroll both case and control. Try to, of course, do more case. But if you find that you're having a slow shift and you want to do controls, you can do controls. They might be worth less points, I believe. They're worth half as many points, but they're still valuable. And with case, make sure that the patient is not in any of the exclusion criteria. And so, yeah, you have to just look at their ESI. If they're 4 or 5, they count. And then if they are a control, you can still enroll them, but make sure you click control on the survey itself. Okay. So just try to over-enroll in persons of color if possible. That will give us a better sample size and will help us with the data analysis. Some important points. So there's survey logic involved. What this means is that based on the patient's response, there'll be more or less questions that can pop up. So don't be alarmed. There's not that many questions, but just try to simplify the question if the patient's having trouble understanding. Try to tell it in your own words if possible, rather than reading it verbatim. But if do whatever is best. You guys are I trust you guys. You guys are seasoned MRAPers at this point. Other than that, do your thing. It's probably the easiest study to enroll for, and I'm sure you guys will have a blast. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions with the REDCap or any issues about the study. My phone number is there. You can also hit me up on Messenger. Okay, and some of the references we used for making this study. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great study, and that's why I actually wanted to show that presentation first time, just because you guys have been doing amazing already in screening and enrolling for lead. That CASI should not say CASI. That should sorry, that's a mistake. That should say lead. Because these are leads. I changed the sheet. So you guys are doing amazing already screening for lead. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with study updates. Cassie, any updates?
No new updates, but I'm just scheduling a meeting with Bobby Floor and talking to Dot to go over data analysis.
With security?
For FI, no gift cards yet, but we did reach out to Jamie, the person that usually deals with gift cards, and then she said that she'll get back to us like when she's able to figure out the cards and stuff. So, thanks for
We made it through our second step of an IRB revision, so we got feedback from the IRB team to try to, as well as get enrollments. So we're just waiting on I think Salman's position through. I'll probably bump them really quick just to do that. And BTW.
It's great news. Dr. Barrios and I submitted an abstract to the Southwestern Surgical Congress. We are happy to announce that it was accepted. I will be presenting in Sonoma, April 6th through 9th.
Send wine bags right now. That way everybody can go into that valley. It'll be super close.
Other than that, though, on the dollar side, our IRB for BTW has expired. We do need to write a new one. It sounds like Dr. Barrios wants to go a new direction, include a few more things. It's looking like he wants to do something along the veins of maybe a DUI in the past. I've been trying to organize a meeting with him and Dr. Sada. That way we have a better idea of how to rewrite our new IRB. So other than that, no other updates at this time.
Thank you. TBI, any new updates?
About a month ago, like before break, someone reached out to me and said that because it was a short committee review protocol, the process was taking longer than it usually would, and that the IRB committee had asked for a little bit more information, but like things like how many subjects we've enrolled, the gender of the subjects, et cetera, et cetera. So I did provide them with that information, but we're still.
Yes. And again, thank you so much for your patience. I know the process is difficult, so it's great you're going to be continuing that. Hopefully, be able to see this throughout. Risk fracture.
No new updates, but I did email Jamie the latest instruction to give cards just because I talked to you before, but we were unable to find the patients unless they were already out. So I emailed her last time before you're up, but now I believe we use the Europe funds to give cards to us.
And then did she respond or not yet? Okay, cool. Diabetes.
Only major update, a lot of people have been asking me if we're still enrolling. I know we have a high enrollment number, but I reached out to Jonna. Right now, she still wants us to enroll, so just keep ready.
Love it. Brought it.
Nothing else to shout out Tyler, both Bryant's, Trisha, Go. And I got Tyler right. Yeah, Tyler. Getting all this karate and Josh. You guys got like a bunch of them in the last 2 weeks, so.
What was the statistic that like this is more than the past 6 months? Something. It's awesome. Great job, guys.
Yeah, maybe a year.
Oh, wow. That's good. Love it. Kinesiology.
Yeah, just one thing, I am working on collecting the Equidata from all patient cards, so when I look back, some patients do get multiple echoes, so it's really important that you guys put the date, whether that be on the consent or the HIPAA, just include the date, just so I know which echo specifically is recorded data. Other than no other updates, thank you.
Thank you, Rand. ESTV, huge announcement.
Yeah, pretty big announcement. You guys probably saw it in the messenger already, but pretty much the OSHA team is going to go ahead with their scanning shifts again, starting yesterday. This is when they set aside time to kind of like teach these fellows and residents some ultrasound techniques. During this time, they emphasized that they wanted rappers to start screening for ESPP, since the biggest barrier usually is that there's not an available physician on the ESPP. But during the scanning shifts, there is very capable and willing physicians ready to perform ESPP. So keep a lookout. They told me that at the start of each scanning shift, they'll come to like the MRAP room and kind of introduce themselves. So it's on your shift, if possible, you screen for some ESPPs after they introduce themselves. I know it's been a while since you guys probably screened for ESPP, or you guys don't screen very often because it's hard to find the right situation. So if you have any questions, you actually reach out to me either on Messenger or you have my number. Oh yeah, it should be. I don't think it's every day, but it should be pretty regularly. So just keep an eye out. They didn't send us any information other than that they'll start happening. I'm trying to get a hold of the schedule, talking with Dr. Guy about it, but until then, just keep an eye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, if there's any time to screen for ESPP, now it's so go ahead and do that. Pulmonary contusion.
No major updates. We're getting a lot more screens and enrollments. Thank you, everyone. Hi. So thank you for the 3 approaches. As Ryan mentioned, since PFES is a bit harder to enroll for, really utilize those shifts. And another thing is that the doctors did suggest that you can ask anyone besides just the ultrasound fellows to enroll, because especially they're having it next Wednesday. They're having a training for all the residents to know how to do VHF, SE, and yeah. So especially after next Wednesday, everybody should be more familiarized with how to enroll for this. studies, so just be on the lookout.
And then STEMI. Oh, right, Tyler.
Yeah, when I was on shift, I believe on Sunday, I noticed there was a PE PESI, but they had some isolation precaution. I was wondering if there was any way that, we could maybe start like gowning up or anything, just to, I don't know if that's possible, because like, it's a data point, but that's like one of the big apprehensions. I remember this one time I had reached out to Dr. Fox about it, and he was saying like, I'd rather not. Is there any way that we could start doing that?
Thank you for your enthusiasm. I just don't know what the isolation is for. And overall, if it's, I would say to try and avoid scenarios. If it's like tuberculosis, I would highly recommend not going in there. So like, you really have to, if you're a physician or a medical student, story, even med students, we don't even send it to the TV case. But if it's something different, I don't know, there are some fungal outbreaks that are out there, like C. aureus and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I would just say stay away. Just as a universal rule, there's probably other fish in the sea.
Yeah, no new updates for STEMI. Thanks for enrolling, thanks for screening.
Awesome. Who got this too?
I know Ryan got all.
Awesome. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking. Yeah. I never see some facilities. Esperto?
I emailed Liz 5 days ago and I've gotten no reply because she has not messaged me since the beginning of the month. So we are just waiting still, but I asked Nia the other week ago and basically we will incentivize screens. So keep screening. I've seen a few screens, so thank you guys for that. But keep screening and we will incentivize by giving 0.5 points for positive Esperto screens. Cecilia and I just need to make a sheet similar to like the naltrexone screening one that you see like on the drive. So we'll make one for that. And we'll keep track there. But yeah, if you guys catch a positive one, you guys can mark it down as a screen. And we'll get that updated pretty soon. If you have any questions, let me know.
And positive screen is within 24 hours, right?
Correct. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, within 24 hours, A-line. If you don't know how to find that, I think it should be on our doc. But if you have a question, just message me or Cecilia or anyone that knows. Yeah.
So it's contingent upon someone getting an A-line.
It's within the past 24 hours. So that's the only way we can implement the device.
I think right now, since there's not as much consistency, we're catching them maybe like 3 days later, make sure that once the study's happening, we're catching them.
They won't treat every day. We'll catch
Yeah, just for clarification, is it limited to the med IC or is it also the emergency?
Emergency department is it definitely counts. It's just that it's more rare to see in ED.
Yeah.
Than the med ICU. But yeah, it definitely does count in the emergency department if you do see one.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Evaluating my patients.
Oh, yeah. Similar to Isaac, we reached out to for the gift cards for Europe. Gift cards are part of the study. Besides that, just keep enrolling. Try to get the numbers up. It's a really nice study to kind of challenge your patient interaction, learn more about patients who come to the ERs.
What's the street medicine program like? The process, out of curiosity too. That's the process.
It's out of like our hands. I think it's more like the UCI legal team.
Yeah, we have a legal barrier to overcome. It's not even legal, it's risk management. So we need to have insurance for providing these services. There's a pathway to do it. We have to convince the people who control this pathway. And we had a very good meeting with Dr. Osborne, some of our deans. And we will have an upcoming meeting with the head of risk management or legal or something. He's a lawyer. Peter Schneider, that's his name. I'm just trying to remember. Peter Schneider. Anyways,
Awesome.
I always get a little, my palms get sweaty whenever I hear lawyers. You just want to whisper Peter Schneider in my ear. Could fall out or something.
FD, not JD. Naltrexone.
Okay, so just really quick, are you guys, are any of you running into any trouble or confusion when you're screening for naltrexone? Or have any questions popped up?
Is there a way to include a P number or anything like that, like more identifying information on the screening log? Because sometimes I like go on there and there's like a 29 male there, but I don't know if it's the 29 male I was looking at or another one.
Oh, on the actual screen?
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
actual
maybe we can put bed, just so it's a little more specific. But just so you guys have a few more like tools for screening, obviously, like you can check patient charts for alcohol use disorder, but a lot of the times patients will not have an official diagnosis. And part of our goal is to make sure that if they do fit the criteria, that the doctors are aware of it. So in order to find that, or kind of see if they do fit the criteria, make sure you're also searching on alcohol or have they been prescribed with naltrexone or any other kind of substance use prevention medication in the past. So that can also, they'll have some like history notes sometimes, like in the, what is it called, interdisciplinary notes, there'll be some information about that. And then when you're on the main screen, so looking at our normal track board, obviously, yes, there are some patients who are specifically explicitly tagged with withdrawal or alcohol use or whatever it is, but a lot of the times there are patients who have come in for unrelated reasons and are still facing that issue. So obviously, I know it's a lot to ask for every single time you go in to screen every single chart, but just be a little more diligent about searching through the charts and using the search bar how we do for like CHF or whatever it is. So and then the other big thing is you notice, and it's not by anyone's, it's not like anyone's specific fault or anything, but we notice that we do have a lot of times where like obviously the MDs aren't responding to our chat messages. So we really want to push the in-person approaches. So whoever is more available, whether it be the resident or the attending, worst they could say is no, or maybe you have to spend like a few minutes explaining what naltrexone is. But it'll be a lot more likely that if the patient needs it, they will actually get the prescription if you approach the MD in person. Because a lot of times they'll see the chat and they'll be like, yeah, it's a good idea, but then they have a lot of other patients on their mind, so maybe it's not at the priority for them. And there's like a few specific things we need to add to the actual prescription, or not us, but the MD. So Ayush and I can send you the specific information, but basically they're going to have to make sure that UCI outpatient pharmacy is listed as the pharmacy when the prescription goes through, and that they add a pharmacy note with the note FUA. We'll explain what all of this means. We'll send like a proper note about it. But I know that's a lot of information, but just keep screening for it. Your help really does make a difference. Dr. BC just told us that we actually reached our goal last year by 3 patients. So if you guys hadn't been diligently screening, we might have not met that goal. So it's really appreciated and it's really important. So yeah, just keep up that good work and all the good work with all of us. With that, I think that's it.
No, I think just keeping it simple, just looking at that reason for visit, patient reason, if they have anything that says withdrawal, alcohol, detox, those should cue you in. And then if you can also look at the trauma patients, that's really helpful. Not every trauma patient is intoxicated, but many who are, 30 to 40% of our traumatic injuries have some level of intoxication. And then you can kind of use that as a filter to see, is this an alcohol use disorder or is it like a one-off, like, hey, I went to like some house party and I drank too much, but they don't really have alcohol use disorder. That's a little bit harder, but that would be a good screening, say, oh, that person could be eligible amongst all the other studies and priorities that you guys have. That's a quick and dirty way. And then once you get to that, there's some like boilerplate kind of a elevator pitch that you would make to the physicians, and you guys are instrumental in doing that. In fact, that's what we're actually seeing, that last year when we met our metrics, there's like hospital-wide metrics to improve the treatment of patients with alcohol use disorder. One of that improvement is sending people home on naltrexone. So this effort, along with a few others combined, really help create that. And so the research part of it is can an intensity of services or intensity of effort really help patients with alcohol use disorder with evidence-based treatment called naltrexone. So that's kind of the big picture. So
lots of studies there and lots of competing work, but we would highly appreciate your guys' efforts.
You know, and yeah, there's just a small favor right now. So just look up the alcohol use on everyone's charts. Pretty simple, it's pretty quick. You go up and down. Did it like 30, 40 minutes, you know, and you're just having a slow shift. Boom, 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 boom. Yoel has like these awesome keystrokes to just like do real quick. So it's not too bad. Covered.
Yeah, for the fixed one, patients, they have to not be getting sent to psychology or like that.
Yeah, so any patient that's being admitted or sent to some kind of inpatient care would not be.
Yeah, because I think, like if you're just looking at the color of the bed, like they might not be like, they might not have like the faded color, but they still want to send to psych for the sign watch out.
Jolie?
So I'm pretty sure some people have done this, and someone showed me, but I don't know. But on the chalkboard, you can add like a column that says like substance abuse disorder, and then it literally like tells you like if it searches like the chart and tells you if there's like a history of like substance abuse or like alcohol withdrawal or something, even if the chief complaint or total problem isn't that. So I find it really useful, and then that's how I go and stop the doctors.
Yeah, it's kind of like the type 2 diabetes column. So it can definitely help catch a lot of patients. So it's called substance use as a problem or something, like you can't find it in when you do your chart editing. But I will say the one thing again, like that won't catch it if it's not like listed in their snapshot or as an official diagnosis. So while it can help, it's not. So that's why we just make sure you're going into the chart and checking.
Maybe we can create a quick little video of how to add this onto.
Sure.
Because that might be a nice, with the limitations of time, you could go, boom, oh wait, alcohol. Might go to that patient and be like, oh, good. And you may not capture everyone, but it might get a couple more enrollments though.
Jolie's one of our top Altrax in screen.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for coming to today's meeting. We, well, basically half of MRAP will be staying behind for the selection committee meeting, but, half, 85%. But yeah, so we just have a little bit to talk about regarding selection committee, but otherwise, today's meeting is adjourned. So thank you so much for this. Thank you. Okay. So, you want to pull it up? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Why are we